anything. Hey, Tim, 123, 123. You're welcome.
Hello, hello, mic check 123, 123. My IP.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WTVM News Leader 9. Sponsored by Montlick & Associates, Columbus Injury Attorneys.
I'm at 35th New Package Store. I have a customer that's just been shot.
And are you with the person that's been shot?
Yes, I have him inside sitting down.
Exclusive 911 calls from the night Georgia State Representative Gerald Green was shot in the leg.
Hear the moments right after it happened and a live report straight ahead.
And 3 shootings break out overnight across the Fountain City. We'll have reaction from terrified neighbors who fear something worse may happen in the future.
A Fort Mitchell woman says her Samsung phone caught fire and burned her and her quilt. Reaction from her and the questions she wants answered.
And our weather stays pretty calm for the next few days, but clouds and perhaps showers returning by the end of the weekend. We'll talk about your forecast for you coming up.
And good evening. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for News Leader 9 at 5.
Our top story tonight, News Leader 9 has received the exclusive 911 calls which took place the evening Georgia State Representative Gerald Green was shot in the leg in Columbus. Our Chandler Morgan joins us now live from the 30th Avenue package store with some new information. So Chandler, what do these calls uncover about what happened that night?
Well, Jason, in these 911 phone calls, which happened in the 30th Avenue package store right behind me, you can hear the store owner's wife calling police, telling them Green's side of the story. But as police soon confirmed, Green was merely just covering up the truth.
You're watching surveillance video unfold from the evening of January 26th, which Georgia State Representative Gerald Green was shot in the leg. After conflicting reports on the incident, police confirmed the initial 911 call reporting Green had been hurt was made inside the 30th Avenue package store, where Green fled to after he had been shot.
I'm at 35th New Package Store. I have a customer that's just been shot.
And are you with the person that's been shot?
Yes, I have him inside sitting down.
Okay, stay on the line.
You can hear the package store owner's wife on the phone relaying information to dispatch as Green tells her more details on the incident.
He's a white, older guy. He's inside. I have him inside the liquor store with me. It happened in the outside in the parking lot when he was getting out of his car. He said he was robbed.
Okay, the person that robbed him, where is he at?
I don't know. He said he took off.
Did he see which way he went?
He said down, 30th Avenue.
Was he a black male, white male?
He was black.
Okay, what was he wearing?
He was a black guy. What was that? He took his phone.
Green initially claimed he was robbed while sitting in his car, according to State Representative Communications. But as police later confirmed a different story, that the shooting took place on Victory Drive, near adult store Fox's Cinema.
Now, the 911 calls did leave police with a better idea of a suspect they could be looking for in this incident. But later this evening, I'll have more from the 911 phone calls, which took place just down the road at the adult store, Fox's Cinema. For now, live in Columbus, Chandler Morgan for WTVM News Leader 9.
All right, thank you, Chandler. We have more on how this shooting unfolded on our website, WTVM.com. Just go to the local tab and you'll be able to take a listen to more of these 911 calls, which will have more of that, of course, also on News Leader 9 at 11.
Plus, a developing story out of Columbus tonight. 3 shootings in the span of 5 hours overnight. A total of 5 victims were shot and sent to area hospitals. News Leader 9's Jose Zozaya joining us now live from the scene of one of the shootings on Walker Street right off of South Lumpkin Road. And Jose, is there any update tonight on how the victims are doing?
There is, Barbara. We have received word from Midtown Medical on the condition of the first two shooting victims. We're going to start with the one over on Meredith Drive. The victim, Cody Riley, was shot at around 7 p.m. last night. He is listed now as stable. On the other hand, over at the shooting that happened on Oakley Drive near St. Mary's Road at around 8 p.m., the victim, Dynasty Marshall, is listed as unsatisfactory. Now, there's no information on the three victims shot here at a home on Walker Street, but we did talk to one neighbor who asked she not be named, who lives right next door and remembers vividly exactly what happened.
I was with my two brother-in-law and my husband. It was about midnight. Yeah, I heard that they were shooting, so I get scared.
Now, Barbara, we've recently received information from Columbus Police on the first shooting. We now know there's a warrant out for a juvenile suspect who shot Riley in the neck after an argument there on Meredith Drive. I actually spoke to a neighbor who lives down the street, and she told me this kind of violence is actually unfortunately frequent. It's so much so that she's actually considering moving out as soon as possible. And of course, we'll have more information on what others have to say regarding the span of these shootings. For now, reporting in Columbus, Jose Zozai for News Leader 9. Back to you in the studio.
Hey, Jose, at this point, they're not linking these 5 shootings together?
No, they haven't come up with a reason or a pattern yet, Barbara. We have reached out to Columbus Police multiple times to ask that question, but they just haven't given us that answer. But we will continue to ask, and we'll also try and figure out what may have motivated this third shooting from the scene here where I am on Walker Street.
All right, Jose, thank you for the very latest. Keep us updated. We're hearing more from investigators on how they caught suspects who prompted an hours-long standoff in West Point. Mary Rice and Billy Boyette were both discovered at the West Point Motel on Tuesday after an anonymous tipster who had apparently seen the vehicle in a news report spotted it parked with the 2 suspects inside.
Police then arrived and found the pair who were wanted in a series of shootings in more than one state. Rice finally turned herself in, but Boyette shot himself and died there on the scene. Investigators tell us Rice was cooperative with them and revealed details about what led up to the standoff.
Is this her? And she says, yes, she used her own ID to check in here. This is the biggest anonymous tip I have ever received or been part of in my career.
I did bond with her. I had a good rapport with her. She was very cooperative with me and with the authorities from Alabama and Florida.
Rice is facing capital murder charges for the killings.
And she was extradited and is now back in Florida.
And we'll continue to follow the story with any new information as it becomes available. We have the very latest on WTVM.com and our free mobile news app.
Just go to the story you see right here. You'll find an exclusive interview with the suspect's family.
Turning now to our weather tonight. Started out today a bit on the cool side, and that wind this afternoon made it feel even chillier out there.
Whipping around for sure out there today. Now the wind's going to calm down, but we still have these colder temperatures to tell you about. That's the real story around here. Over the next couple of days, our temperatures staying on the cool side. Right now, it's 55 in the Fountain City, 50 in Birmingham, 40s up in North Georgia and North Alabama. And this is a big difference when you look at 24 hours ago. Most places right now between about 10 and 20 degrees colder than where they were at this time yesterday. Only a few passing clouds today. The weather really nice, really calm, and it's going to stay that way tonight and really as we get through the first part of the weekend as well. Here's a check of that hour-by-hour breakdown through the rest of tonight. Really cooling things down once that sun sets, and we should be near freezing by early Friday morning. We'll tell you more about the end of the week and preview the upcoming weekend here in a bit, guys.
All right, Derek, thank you. One of 2 men arrested in connection to the murder of Vassell Patel at a Columbus convenience store appeared in court for the first time since his arrest. Dominique Collins pleaded not guilty to murder charges in court this morning. Collins and Jelante Cleveland are charged with the murder of Patel. Patel and his father were shot at their store, 5 Corner Lotto on Linwood Boulevard, back in November. The father survived. Cleveland is set to make his first court appearance tomorrow. Meantime, Columbus police are looking for these additional suspects believed to be connected to Patel's murder. You're looking at 26-year-old Courtney Williams on the left and 30-year-old Kimberly Huffman. Arrest warrants have been issued for the 2 who police say should be considered armed and dangerous. Call Columbus police if you know where they may be.
2 heartbroken moms are opening up about the deaths of their sons. Police officers shot and killed in Americus 2 months ago. In our one-on-one interviews with the grieving mothers, Sharon Johnson and Janice Smar didn't hold back in talking about their piercing pain, what it was like on that tragic day, and how they're trying to move forward to honor their sons, officers Nick Smar and Jody Smith. Smar's mom says his last words were, "Hang on, Jody, I got you, man."
Nick gave his last breath to Jody, and Nick died, and Jody only lived one more day.
And I'll hurt every day for the rest of my life, losing my son, not having Jody.
Tonight on Newsletter 9 at 6 in part 2 of my special report, In the Line of Fire, hear more of our exclusive interviews with these two mothers. They talk about what officers Jody Smith and Nick Smar were like, what these moms do at the grave sites now, and how one of them is now reaching out to friends of their killer.
Your heart just breaks for them. Well, other news, Samsung cell phones causing consumers problems and leaving some with injuries. A Fort Mitchell woman claims her Samsung phone caught fire and burned her and a hole in her blanket.
And Newsletter 9's Parker Breton met with that woman today. And Parker, she says people need to be aware of all these Samsung phones, right?
Yeah, this is a picture of the Samsung Galaxy Note, which you've probably seen, and it's been banned from major airlines, and there's actually a recall on it as well. But this is the phone that the woman actually had. This is a Samsung S7 Edge that caught fire minutes after she hung up.
To a friend of mine, and I told her, I said, look, I gotta go, my phone's getting hot, I gotta cool it off.
Lori Lamb says she noticed something was wrong with her Samsung S7 Edge.
Like a flame come up on my screen. I tried to turn it off. I kept hitting the button to try to turn it off. It wouldn't go off.
Things start to heat up.
Kept getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And then the back of the phone flew off. Flames and sparks were going everywhere.
She rushed to the bathroom to put the fire out.
While I'm sitting here trying to put everything out on the bed. Then I got to the bathroom and I actually dropped it in the sink because it was burning my hands.
Lamb says the phone burnt her hands and put holes in her blanket.
But that's one that I'm still having problems with.
She immediately called Samsung to let them know what went on.
And they gave me an email address of where to send my receipts, the pictures of this, and pictures of my hands. Already I have sent it in 4 times to the email address that they gave me.
2 weeks too long without a phone for Lori Lamb.
I would like a brand new replacement, not a refurbished, because I paid for it brand new. I want a brand new phone, whatever it might be. I want it to be the same money value, of course. And what I was promised is compensation. And, you know, the lady asked me, the one that told me.
I reached out to Samsung to find out what they're doing to fix this problem, and they haven't got back with us yet. We'll keep you updated on this story and much more at our website, WTVM.com. Jason.
All right, thank you, Parker. Alabama Governor Robert Bentley wasting little time in naming a replacement for Senator Jeff Sessions. Sessions was confirmed last night as Attorney General, but was not sworn in until this morning. Luther Strange, Alabama's Attorney General, will be taking Sessions' place.
Strange will serve the remainder of Sessions' Senate term. The election for a full 6-year term will then be held next year. Now, at some point, Governor Bentley will name a replacement for the Attorney General's Office of Alabama. Coming up at 5:30, we'll have more on how this could affect an investigation into an alleged affair with Governor Bentley. Well, Trump's Supreme Court nominee slamming not his travel plan, but how he responded to a judge's ruling on the order. New reactions to Neil Gorsuch from both sides of the aisle.
Plus, taking a look back at the history of black education in Columbus, how a Supreme Court decision had a big impact in the Valley years ago.
And Weather Radio Wednesdays are back next week. We're going to be at the Walgreens off of Macon Road. That's going to be the one near El Carrizo. So make sure you head out to buy a weather radio there or bring yours from home. We'll make sure it's programmed and set up for severe weather. You can also bring your smartphones by and we'll set you up with our app and text alerts as well. Again, that's next Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. out at the Walgreens. We're going to talk more about the weather for the end of this week. We'll also preview the weekend for you too, coming up in a bit, guys.
your Storm Team 9 Alert Center. WTVM Chief Meteorologist Derek Kincaid.
We have a cold start planned for your Friday. Temperatures near the freezing mark as we start off tomorrow morning, and then the warming trend begins. We'll be back in the 60s tomorrow afternoon, and we've got 70s back in the pictures we get you set for the upcoming weekend. So Saturday and Sunday look great, but Sunday the clouds start to roll back in, and we're going to include a very small rain chance Sunday. Might see a passing shower. Most will not have to deal with that, but just keep that in mind if you have some weekend plans. Saturday, a much better day overall than Sunday. Next week, the rain chances roll back in here. Wednesday, probably the day with the best chance. Of course, our Valentine's Day in there on Tuesday. We'll be talking more about that in the extended forecast for you coming up. But today, the wind, a big story, as well as those cool temperatures. We talked about this yesterday. Winds right now between about 10 and 20 miles per hour across the Chattahoochee Valley out of the north and northwest. That usually is a cold wind for us that brings down that cool, dry air. And that, of course, is what we are seeing right now. Lynette at 52 degrees. It's 55 at the Columbus Airport. Pine Mountain 53, 56 down at Lawson Army Airfield. Just about everybody in the 50s. The range goes from 50 in Roanoke to 60 in Albany. But all in all, a pretty below average day with our high coming around midnight and then temperatures dropping through most of the afternoon. At the moment, a few passing clouds. That's about it. We've got a nice calm weather pattern for you through at least Sunday. Our Futurecast confirms that. Clear skies tonight as we get through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. No problems, lots of sunshine. Then for Saturday, we'll call it mostly sunny. Watching clouds to our north and west as we go through the day Saturday, but most of those not making their way into the Chattahoochee Valley. By Sunday, however, the clouds really start to increase around here, and we'll include that slim rain chance. So it looks like any chance of heavy rain well to our north and west as we head into Sunday. So let's talk about tonight's weather. The average low around 39, so we're going to be well below that tonight. The winds will be light out of the south, most spots near the freezing mark, 31 in LaGrange, 32 in Pine Mountain. We'll go with 33 in Columbus, 31 in the city of Auburn, maybe mid-30s down across those southern counties in the coverage area, but clear and cold, the best way to describe weather tonight. Then sunny tomorrow, highs back in the 60s, so we're going to get up there around the average. We're going to call it a rather seasonable day coming our way tomorrow. Even down to our south, might see a few spots flirting with the low 70s tomorrow, and then I think the 70s definitely back in here as we get you set for the upcoming weekend. Next week, again, your Valentine's Day on Tuesday. Looks like it's going to be a dry day. Had some rain chances in there yesterday, but it looks like now Wednesday the day with the best overall coverage of getting wet next week, guys.
Yeah, 70s not a bad place to be when it comes to the weekend anyway.
Absolutely, and the weekend dry, except for Sunday, that real small chance of getting some rain.
Got to get used to this up and down when it comes to February and winter around here.
Got to always be prepared with the wardrobe, with the umbrella. Got to have it all. Got to have a head on a swivel out there.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it really is.
Doing a great job.
Thanks,
guys.
Derek. Well, a fast-moving winter storm bearing down on the northeast and could dump more than a foot of snow in areas. Right now, public schools in Philadelphia, New York, and Boston are closed, and thousands of flights are canceled. This video taken overnight shows why, as it shows whiteout conditions from the snow. Officials say some areas could get up to 15 inches of the white stuff.
Well, more people are reacting today after President Trump's pick for the high court. Neil Gorsuch called his attacks on federal judges, quote, disheartening and demoralizing. The comments were made during the judge's private meetings with a Democratic lawmaker. All this comes as both sides wait on a ruling on a travel ban impacting 7 majority Muslim countries. His comments are getting praise on both sides of the aisle today.
It sounds like Neil Gorsuch might be a darn good judge. He's not going to be politically swayed on one side of the aisle.
He has to come to the defense of the American judiciary strongly and explicitly and unequivocally. Maybe he's moving in that direction, but it has to be much stronger and more direct.
The meeting was with Richard Blumenthal, who you just heard from. Right now, a ruling has yet to come down on that ban from a court of appeals judge. We will keep you updated.
Well, several University of Alabama students on alert after receiving what they thought was a message from the school's president, only to find out it was a scam. The warning they have for anyone who may come across a similar scam.
And be sure to stay up to date on top local and national stories through our WTVM Facebook page. You see some of the top stories right there on our Facebook page, including a suspect pleading not guilty in court to a deadly shooting at Five Corner Lotto. Also, one injured when a car crashed through the Lee County Courthouse satellite office today. All you have to do is search WTVM Newsletter 9 on Facebook, like the page, and find these stories and much more.
Historic Columbus continued its 2017 Lunch and Lecture series with a meeting today. The focus was on history of black education in Columbus. Guest speakers talked about the formation and progress of education in Muskogee County from the late 19th century to the early 20th century. Some of the topics included Spencer High School and its formation and how the Supreme Court's decision in Brown versus Board of Education impacted the area.
And I taught in the school system, in the segregated school system, and then in the integrated school system. I think it just helps us to understand each other. These people are now my friends, and we can discuss our different experiences.
And the event was held at the Mildred Cherry Library on Veterans Parkway.
Several University of Alabama students, staff, and even alumni were victims of an email scam this week when they got what they thought was an official message from the school's president. They're warning anyone else who may be involved in the scam. Members of the school's information security team say the email was signed by the school's president, Dr. Stuart Bell. His name was spelled correctly, but his listed email address was one for a school on the West Coast. Those security team members say that a PDF file attached to the email was most likely a way to gain access to students' usernames and password information.
It's like in the 20s when people would try to pick your pocket, or when people would try to con you or sell you encyclopedias or Bibles. I mean, it's the same thing. They're trying to con you out of something, but now they're doing it electronically.
He also said his team sees phishing attacks constantly on the school's server and plans to continue educating students, staff, and alumni on recognizing any warning signs of a scam like this.
Well, move over your Elsa doll and make room for a Count Olaf plush. Your kid's Frozen gear may get a new companion if Netflix has its way. The only streaming service wants to sell licensed merchandise.
The company posted a job looking for someone who would, among other things, create some fan swag. It's kind of like what Disney did with its stores selling princess costumes and stuffed animals. So you soon maybe have your own replicas of some of Netflix's best shows, like maybe Stranger Things.
Yeah,
like
or maybe
that.
Orange is the New Black. I don't know what kind of merchandise.
A prison jumpsuit you could wear.
T-shirts maybe.
Yeah,
Who
like
knows?
That does it for the news at 5. We're back with more late-breaking headlines in just a few minutes.
The news at 5:30 is next. Alabama's governor wasted no time appointing a replacement to fill the seat held by the new U.S. Attorney General, with some are questioning now about the selection to fill Jeff Sessions' Senate seat, saying it could cause some controversy. That's straight ahead.